Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Sri Banerjee, core faculty for the College of Health Sciences and Public Policy at Walden University with a joint faculty appointment at Ross University School of Medicine. You might hear a noise in the middle, and that's just my computer with a heated fan. Anyway, I wanted to today talk about a dark triad. It came across as an article, and I thought it was interesting to psychology folks who may be interested in learning this a little bit more in detail. The starting point here is the dark triad. And so the dark triad is a combination of Machiavellianism, psychopathy, and narcissism. Narcissism comes from the story of Narcissus, who fell in love with his own reflection to the point that he drowned in a pool. Machiavellianism, many of you might not be familiar with, but he basically gave the secrets of war for thousands of years. And if you come across Machiavellianism, these individuals actually are difficult to deal with. And then psychopathy, the name says it all. Second is that empaths are the opposite of narcissists, in that they are healers who absorb the emotions of others in a benevolent, loving way. But in a recent research of personality and individual differences, these two learnings can be melded in a single personality. So say hello to the dark empath. When you have an empath who has characteristics of the dark triad, and then that becomes the dark empath. So avoiding dark triad energy, vampires is wise. A dark empath is different. Um, it it doesn't just drain human energy like a typical narcissist might. Rather, they just brood while caring about others' feelings. A dark empath is someone who has difficulty with emotional empathy. And in other words, they can't feel the emotions of another person. It's not a diagnosable mental health condition, just a personality trait, and there's many different types, type A, type B. I encourage you to look into it. A dark empath doesn't emotionally connect with someone else's feelings. They do identify the other person's viewpoint and use that to a lot of times use that to their advantage, or sometimes to manipulate into their own narrative. And then for also the dark empath has been described as the potential for emotional destruction, largely because of the word empath. By her definition, genuine empathy must have an intrinsic emotional and pro-social element. So you can't really call them dark empaths because they don't have that. The empathy is void of malevolence. Such is not the case with the empathetic quality associated with dark empaths. What these folks seem to experience is more so cognitive empathy, being able to understand someone's emotional state, but not necessarily connecting to it in a way that propels an emotional pro-social output. The way the term is being used in the dark empath variant is as manipulation. So what are the most common dark empath traits to look for? They're extroverted, agreeable, and neurotic. If you look at the Big Five model of personality traits, these are extremely important to understand. It's the Myers-Briggs, and it's actually a modification of Myers-Briggs. Some of you might be familiar with that. So looking back, another one could be malicious humor, gaslighting, and guilt tripping others, using other people, faking sincerity. Quite a few. So do dark empaths have a conscience? That's an interesting question. They may identify that what one is going through and choose not to feel sympathy or any desire to assist. This can give them an advantage, as they can either listen to their consequence and do good, or use their skills to get what they want without remorse. Are people dark triad traits, a lost cause. And the answer is, if they recognize themselves as having this mental trait, and these three traits, then they can get help. Are dark empaths more dangerous than a psychopath? Physically, a psychopath is more dangerous, but a dark empath is more emotionally dangerous. So in the psychology field, to better understand the difference between the two is important. How do you know if you're a dark empath? Well, there's a personality test that you could take and make sure that either you are or aren't a dark triad. And here's the personality test. You can start the test. And here's one question. It's not wise to tell your secrets. And do you disagree or agree? So take a look at this. It's interesting, and I think gives us some good insight into understanding specific personality traits. Thank you for listening.